The scream that shattered the calm of our suburban streets still haunts me, a piercing, desperate cry from my 12-year-old son, Ethan, that no parent can ignore. It was his birthday, a day meant for joy, but it turned into a nightmare when our HOA president, Margaret Hensley, decided she was judge and jury over a bike she wrongly believed was stolen. What she didn't know was that a neighbor's phone was capturing every moment of her outrageous actions, and the fallout would leave our neighborhood reeling. It all started with Ethan's obsession with a sleek, blue mountain bike. For months, he'd been relentless clipping magazine ads, emailing me links, even crafting a PowerPoint to argue why this bike would change his life. His enthusiasm was infectious, and as a single dad, I'd worked extra shifts to save up for it. I stashed the bike at my brother's place, building anticipation for Ethan's big day. When he tore open a small box to find a photo of the bike, his face lit up like I'd handed him the moon. We brought it out to our driveway while I set up the backyard for his party streamers, balloons, a cake with his name in bright icing. I told him to ride it up and down the street, keeping in sight, while I finished the decorations. It was supposed to be a perfect moment. But Margaret Hensley had other plans. Our HOA president was infamous for her iron-fisted rule over our quiet cul-de-sac. From fining people for unapproved mailbox colors to lecturing neighbors about lawn ornaments, she thrived on control. That afternoon, as Ethan pedaled happily, Margaret must have spotted him from her patrol of the neighborhood, likely on her way to nitpick someone's landscaping. In her mind, a kid like Ethan couldn't possibly own a bike that shiny, that expensive. Without a shred of evidence, she decided he was a thief. I was hanging a happy birthday banner when Ethan's scream cut through the air, a sound that stopped my heart. Dropping everything, I sprinted to the front yard, my stomach churning at the sight before me. Ethan was sprawled on the ground, tears streaming down his face, while Margaret, red-faced and furious, gripped the handlebars of his new bike. "This isn't yours," she shrieked, yanking it away as Ethan, sobbing, clung to it. "I know exactly where you stole this from." I saw her hand shove his shoulder, sending him stumbling back, and my blood ran cold. Neighbors were already spilling out of their homes, drawn by the commotion, and someone shouted they were calling 911. "Ma'am, get your hands off my son and his bike," I yelled, struggling to keep my voice steady as rage surged inside me. Margaret whipped around, her eyes blazing with self-righteous fury. "Your son? This bike? Don't insult my intelligence. The Harrisons down the street reported a stolen bike just like this one. I caught this little delinquent red-handed." Ethan, still on the ground, looked up at me, his voice trembling. "Dad, tell her. You gave it to me for my birthday." Before I could respond, Margaret let out a scornful laugh. "Oh, how convenient. Your birthday, and you just happened to get a $1,500 bike? Kids in this neighborhood know better than to take what's not theirs. This HOA has rules, and I enforce them." I stepped between her and Ethan, helping him to his feet as he clung to my hand, shaking. "Margaret, this is absurd. It's his birthday. Look at the decorations, the wrapping paper in our trash. I have the receipt in my wallet. You're making a huge mistake." She scoffed, jabbing a finger at me. "So you're teaching him to lie too? Like father, like son. I always knew your family was trouble. The board should have vetted you better before letting you move in." Her words stung, laced with a venom that felt personal, almost hateful. By now, a crowd had formed, neighbors whispering, some holding up phones to record. Margaret, undeterred, declared, "I'm confiscating this bike until the real owner is identified." When Ethan instinctively reached for it, crying, "No, it's mine," she shoved him again, hard enough to knock him down. That was my breaking point. "Don't you dare touch my son," I roared, stepping forward as she flinched. "What is wrong with you? He's a child." Margaret's face turned crimson. "He's resisting an HOA official. This is theft, and I'm protecting our community." Mrs. Patel, our neighbor across the street, pushed through the crowd, holding up her phone. "I've got it all on video, Margaret. You just pushed a kid to the ground. That's assault." Margaret's head snapped toward her, momentarily stunned, but she recovered quickly. "Nonsense. He fell trying to flee with stolen property. I'm the victim here." Just then, police sirens wailed in the distance, and Margaret's expression shifted to smug satisfaction. "Finally, now we'll sort this out. You'll see what happens when you break my rules." Two officers stepped out of the patrol car, taking in the chaotic scene. A crying boy, an angry woman clutching a bike, and a crowd buzzing with tension. I recognized Officer Daniels from a neighborhood watch meeting, and relief washed over me. "What's going on?" he asked calmly. Margaret launched into her story, voice dripping with authority. "Officer, I caught this boy stealing a bike from another resident. When I confronted him, his father threatened me. I'm just doing my duty as HOA president to keep our community safe." Taking a deep breath, I kept my tone even. "Officer Daniels, today is Ethan's 12th birthday. That bike is his gift from me. I have the receipt, and half the neighborhood saw me give it to him this morning. This woman attacked my son, accused him of theft without proof, and pushed him down when he tried to explain. I pulled the receipt from my wallet, dated 3 weeks prior, and handed it over." Mrs. Patel stepped forward. "I have video of the whole thing, including her pushing him." She handed her phone to Daniels, who watched with a grim expression. Another neighbor chimed in. "I saw them bring the bike home this morning. The kid was over the moon." Daniels handed the phone back and turned to Margaret. "Ma'am, did you touch the child?" She crossed her arms defiantly. "Absolutely not. He fell trying to keep stolen property. But the officer wasn't buying it. We've got video, witness statements, and a receipt. There's no report of a stolen bike in this area. Even if there was, you have no authority to confront a child or take property like this." He nodded to his partner, then spoke firmly. "Ma'am, step away from the bike." Margaret's confidence crumbled. "But I'm the HOA president. This is my responsibility." Daniels cut her off. "Based on the evidence, you assaulted a minor and tried to take his property under false pretenses." As he asked her to put her hands behind her back, the crowd gasped. "Margaret Hensley, you're under arrest for assault on a minor and attempted theft," he said, reading her rights. She sputtered, "This is outrageous. I'll sue this entire neighborhood." As they led her to the car, her protests echoing down the street. I knelt beside Ethan, brushing away his tears. "You okay, buddy?" He nodded, voice small. "Is she taking my bike, Dad?" "No way," I said, hugging him tight. "That's yours. No one's taking it." 3 months later, Margaret pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and attempted theft. The judge sentenced her to 6 months probation, a $150 fine, anger management classes, and a restraining order keeping her 100 feet from our family. The HOA board ousted her in an emergency vote, and soon after, a for sale sign appeared in her yard. The day she moved out, I caught her glance across the street, her face a mix of shame and defiance. She turned away, slamming her door, and that was the last we saw of her. Ethan's birthday was scarred, but the neighborhood rallied around us. Mrs. Patel's video, the neighbors' support, and that crumpled receipt proved the truth. Margaret's downfall was a wake-up calla reminder that power, unchecked, can turn a petty tyrant into a menace. Ethan still rides his bike, but now he stays close to home, and I keep a closer eye on the street, wondering who else might mistake authority for a license to harm.